What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you? I hope you can listen to me. Though I don't have any viewers right now. That's all okay though. I don't mind. I definitely mind privacy. Me being streaming and asking for privacy is insane, right? But let's go. I wanna see this video, man.
And by that they mean we are creating a sexualized Farmville the world. When today's rich and famous tech companies talk about what they do, they usually say something like, "We are connecting the world." And by that they mean we are creating a sexualized Farmville that is as addictive as opioids. So when I learned that last year's best performing stock by growth was a Silicon Valley unicorn by the name of Palantir, I was pretty sure I knew what they were up to. Probably they made a streaming service called Boo, a housing rental app called Housely, or earbuds called Doinkers or whatever. But just to be sure, I looked them up. At which point it became clear that these cats are a little different from the techies who typically cross my desk.
We built this kill chain, the digital kill chain. How do you defend your country and kill your enemies? Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
Really? Really? You guys heard that? That's insane.
Two things here, folks. First, I have wet my pants. Second, what? As always, I began my investigation on Bing.com.
Man.
What's up guys? In this video, I'm going to share with you how to come up with business ideas that are actually good. Welcome to
Which I used to type in Google.com, which I used to search for Palantir.com. A quick spin through their site will tell you that Palantir is all about AI-powered automation for every decision and delivering mission-critical outcomes for the West's most powerful institutions. Sentences that boldly ask the question, what if Genghis Khan and Ronald Reagan had a baby who wrote mind-numbingly boring marketing copy? However, I did come across one thing in my research that even I can wrap my noggin around. Whatever Palantir does, it makes them a lot of money.
Palantir stock is booming, absolutely skyrocketing.
Palantir has been a standout this week,
Surging 22%.
Hugest outperformers of the last year.
Right now, there is no comparable company.
I'm here bravely outside of the offices of Palantir. Their stock rocketed up 340% in 2024, peaking this winter to give them a valuation of over $250 billion. And although they're peaking this winter to give them a valuation of over $250 billion. And although their stock price has dipped since then, they remain right up there with the likes of AT&T, IBM, and those hunks over at Cisco. But I couldn't let the money distract me. Not now. If I was to truly understand Palantir, I was going to have to take more drastic measures. Like calling people who actually know what they're talking about.
Can you answer that question for me here and now? What exactly does Palantir do?
I will say two things. The fact that you're asking that question goes to the heart of the company and the confusion over it and also the mystique of it. Number two is I will tell you what they do. They want to win Defense Department contracts, commercial contracts as well, but I think they have their eye at the prize.
Sharon Weinberger is the Wall Street Journal's national security editor, and much like me, she's been covering the U.S. defense industry for over 20 years.
They got their start going back to 2003 in trying to come up with a data analytics platform. We're in the middle of the war on terror. We're involved in operations in Afghanistan. We're involved in operations in Iraq. And what is our number one problem there at the time? It's insurgency. It's roadside bombs, IEDs that were killing U.S. and allied soldiers and infantry on the ground at a really alarming rate. So Palantir came in and said, look, we can take all of this information that you're collecting, and the Defense Department collects a whole lot on the battlefield, and integrate it in a database and help you spot bad actors, spot terrorists. That is what they pitched themselves as doing when they were first sort of coming on the scene in 2003, 2004, and really for the first decade plus of its existence. What they've expanded to today is something much bigger, in some ways more interesting, and in some ways kind of posits them to be more successful, which is they are a problem solver for the Department of Defense. You have a problem, we will solve it.
All right, so here's the deal. Palantir is a data analytics software company who got its start during the War on Terror and today has big ambitions to be the U.S. Department of Defense's.
Guys, I don't know, for some reason I feel like, there is a huge potential I can see for the such company in India. uh, I mean, if you take me back to 2011, I would definitely argue, or I would definitely buy an argument that, hey, India is leading, or like Asia is leading to a place where it's sustainable, it's peaceful, it's quiet, no wars and things like that. And I used to feel like, okay, war was like very old thing and people don't find it anymore. But in 2025, I mean, I can see that like there's gonna be a lot of fucking around Pakistan, India, China, probably Bangladesh, Nepal, and I think the way the wars gonna happen are gonna be quite different than how it used to be. Uh, like Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj said to his son Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj that he won't he won't be able to see his enemies, because he Sambhaji Maharaj's enemies would be in their group itself, and I feel the same. Terrorists would be in our country, would be fucking around with us. I don't know how Palantir or like such companies can solve that, but now I know why this, like the fact that Palantir is like $264 billion worth of company who is just helping a department of a government. I know it's a big department and things like that, but $264 billion is too much, right? So I feel like there is a huge potential to do something around in India, and but I don't know how. Wait, who is our? I don't want to search that. I don't know, like, but oh, even if you have like such good brain abilities and like things to do in India, I don't know would how vouchable the government would be. Yeah.
His go-to problem solver.
The idea of a Silicon Valley company saying we kill things, that we're interested in serving the Department of Defense and the Department of Defense wages war, that was simply unprecedented back in 2003. It was what made them unique. People hadn't seen it, and that they were going to compete with companies that had been around for decades and dominated the market.
Places like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and Raytheon. The Department of Defense, Lockheed Martin.
Guys, I don't know how many of you all know, but Lockheed Martin is an insane company. Is an insane. Like, I remember this thing where, yeah, look, I remember I was in Switzerland and then was supposed to give some debate, or like, I was supposed to give, not debate, but I was supposed to explain what like top 3 companies and something around that. And I also remember that at the time there was a huge war between Ukraine and Russia, and then in a way entire Europe was sad because a lot of people were dying and things like that. It was so sad moment. And I don't know, for some reason I went ahead and I explained about this company which got my professor really sad, seeing that given the current situation of people being dying, I'm supporting this company and things like that. So that was a bad move.
Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and Raytheon. The Department of Defense gives these chillers huge contracts to make fighter jets and stuff.
One of the things that these new companies like Palantir are kind of helping to disrupt, which is probably good, is the system of prime contracting and defense contracting. We have a few big contractors that have these giant contracts and they have cost overruns. One reason the Pentagon's budget is so big.
Market O'Mara is a historian and professor who's
Something that
Watkins. Jeremy is a man whose information I bought from a third.
I think this guy's a little
I was actually the youngest quant researcher at a pretty big hedge fund today, and so had started my career in finance, but had seen a lot of different areas, very thesis-driven to just pure numbers and numbers crunching. You know, when I was working in corporate finance, I would work, 9-10 hours a day and 5 days a week. And then if I was called in on a weekend, I would honestly be very miserable. It just felt like it wasn't my own thing. Now I work, every waking second and 7 days a week, but I've never been happier. And I think I'm young, so that's one piece that gives me a little bit more optionality. When it comes to what you want to do though, this sounds very simple, but it's really just what feels right. The team feels that way too. It's really like when you own a piece of something and you're really growing it from ground up, it's easy to feel excited. And so my advice for like stable career versus startup is if you have the optionality to, I think, whatever makes you feel happy, whatever makes you feel like you're excited to go to work every single day and that you feel very fulfilled in what you're doing. Hi, I'm Jessica, co-founder and CEO of Sola. Sola is an agentic process automation platform. We help businesses automate their most critical and operational workflows using AI in a much easier and faster way than traditional RPA. Sola started out of YC about 2 years ago. Since then, we have raised a seed round led by Sarah at Conviction. Most recently, we've raised a Series A led by A16Z following an enormous amount of traction from our enterprise customers. We have 5x our revenue this year. Execution volume on the platform is doubling month over month since the beginning of this year. And we're proud to partner with some of the largest companies in the world, including the Fortune 100, AmLaw 100, and some of the largest private businesses in logistics and healthcare. I grew up doing a lot of very competitive things, played competitive piano, and I did competitive math and things like that. I think that gives you a pretty hard will. It probably makes you very disciplined. I think I'm good at taking risks and putting myself out in places that I don't feel comfortable. And I think that builds up a lot of resilience, like doing something even if you don't feel like you're 100% ready. I do that a lot. And just jumping into things and really going for it, I think that builds up a lot of character.
Very beautiful.
When I was in high school, I'd visited MIT a couple of times. I think it does a great job of the whole, you're the dumbest person in the room kind of thing. It's always the most fun when you're surrounded by a lot of people you can learn from. I think MIT is a very unique place. It's the only place where it's really exactly as it portrayed in the movies. You have people building roller coasters in the front lawn, and you have people training models in the dorm basements and things like that. And it's every bit as real as it's described. I think that MIT really puts a ceiling on how technically difficult things get. I've been working on this company for about 2 years now and have experienced a lot of different things since college, but never have I had to use so many brain cells to just think about a really hard problem. I think the most important thing you should do is jump into everything as quickly as you can. And MIT does a great job of showing you exactly what's on the forefront of what you should be paying attention to. You should absolutely go learn about all the new things that people are doing research about. You should absolutely spend as much time as you can with people that are doing said research. And I think that if you create a habit around trying to learn as much as you can and take as much what's on the frontier as possible, then you're better equipped, especially now, to learn and to work in an environment like today where things change so rapidly and there's so many things happening in the tech world. I think the thing that you get from just a very technical background is you can break things down very easily.